Welcome to TeamSport Warrington, the pinnacle of electric rental karting in the United Kingdom. And for once, that's not a setup for a bait and switch. Witness the thrills of actual fast speeds, track surface that still retains a decent amount of grip even in the cold, but unfortunately still more red and yellow flags since the last time a Ferrari driver made their own strategy call. This place is TeamSport's gold standard, and every other TeamSport locale should thrive to be just like it. Fast, technical, exciting, nauseating. I didn't make it to the end of this race. Keep watching to find out why. Welcome to Perico Karting, and today I'm at TeamSport Warrington, the track that well and truly defeated me. It's Sunday, 8 AM on the 7th of January 2024. It's below freezing outside, it's early in the morning, and I do not deal with the cold well. As in, I go to work wearing 5 layers and you'll still find me stood in front of the heater in the depot. The track, however, despite having nothing running on it for the better part of 12 icy hours, still held up really well. So here's a quick rundown of the layout of the track. So straight off of the line, we have a hairpin, followed by another hairpin, and then another hairpin, just to be safe after that. Then we have this really cool Monaco-inspired tunnel section, which kind of looks like the chicane. It's really fast, and I really like this part. Then it's a sharp sweeping right-hander, into a left-hander, into a double apex, which takes us to a right turn, which goes to an up-ramp, taking us to the second floor. A left and right-hander, followed by a hairpin, which takes another left turn into another hairpin, a big sweeping double apex, and then straight down a ramp for a really long straight where you can really open the taps into one last left corner, then another right, and then straight across the line, and that's a full lap of the track. Myself, Ryan, Josh, and 2 new faces, Ellis and Nathan, came here for a 40-lap race, but as you're about to see, I only made it to lap 20. What happened? Well, you're about to find out.
Flat out around turn 1!
So at this point of the session, we've just been let out of the pits, and the karts appear to be in crawl mode for whatever reason. I think it's just so that they can get everyone onto the track in a safe and orderly manner. I very slowly attempt to figure out the line because I have never been on this track before, and I am still garbage at karting, so it's going to take me a while to get used to this, especially these karts. Trust me though, once I get let off the leash, it's going to be one hell of a surprise. My only experience with electric karts has been TeamSport Stoke so far, so let's see Warrington's take.
Whoa, my goodness gracious me! Woo!
I was not expecting the acceleration on these things to be so intense, to the point where I come sailing around this corner and completely miss the red light, rear-ending Ryan.
Sorry, Ryan. I only saw the red when I got to the top.
Once said red light actually lifted, we went sailing down the main straight at top speed, which was a bit too much for me to handle because I immediately spun on the second to last corner, along with this guy, who pretty much slipped his way into that gap really cleanly actually. But now it's time to stop mucking about because the race has begun. We all fly off the line and I once again completely forget to cover my inside because I'm so enamored by the number of karts I've forgotten basic racecraft. We all come barreling into the second hairpin. There doesn't seem to be any incidents going on here. Then there's a bit of a squeeze on the inside of the third hairpin, means I accidentally rear-end a couple people. And then we all go flying through the Monaco-inspired section as one giant pack. I try and get the inside move on Josh done here, but he squeezes me out just well enough to maintain his position. So I try the same move again on this double apex, but he holds the corner tight enough to the point I can't get past. And the first of many yellow flags comes out. Now, you might be wondering, why am I so lenient and positively slanted towards this place, even if it was just nothing but a plethora of yellow flags the whole time? That was because this race was 19 people on a freezing cold track at 8 in the morning. The number of yellow flags was an inevitability. All things considered, this race was ran and managed incredibly well. This was bound to happen. You have to also remember, I didn't participate in the second half of this race, as I mentioned at the start, so it would be unfair of me to judge this place as a whole based off of half a race at 8 o'clock in the morning. What few laps I managed to drive unhindered by yellow flags were some of the most fast and fun laps I've ever driven in all my time karting. even if the yellow flags threaten to hinder it a little. That, however, is not going to stop me from having a yellow light counter, purely because I can't be bothered to keep track of the laps, and keeping track of the positions is something that is way beyond my patience, because holy cow, there's so many people here. A little bit later into the second lap, I have what I can only describe as a Sebastian Vettel moment. I can't turn around until it's safe to do so. What happened was, I hit the brakes way too hard, throwing my back end out, meaning that I got spun out by the person behind me. The person behind me happened to be Ryan, who is seen right there, nose first in the barriers after a particularly messy entry into the hairpin just off of the up-ramp. So, even though I had my embarrassing moment this race, at least he had his. Sorry, Ryan. However, my race is not completely ruined, because thanks to the abundance of yellow flags and people like this essentially giving me positions, it means that I was able to climb my way back up the order. 3 people have now spun out on the first 2 hairpins, and yeah, sure, it means another yellow flag is going to come out, but it means that I've just gained 3 positions completely free of charge. Once we were cleared to race again, this guy in front of me was a pain to get past, but at this point, I just managed to find a gap by braking earlier than he does, slipping down the inside of the hairpin, and then locking him out at the other hairpin, effectively securing me another position. But as we come to the main straight, we get a red flag this time. I'm not exactly sure what happened to provoke a red flag, but it means I have to halt on the main straight.
Jesus, this is chaotic. Can I do a full lap without it being yellow?
Admittedly, my frustration at the abundance of yellow flags is starting to show here. I see the pack way into the distance, but I know that I can't really do anything about it because I'm under yellow flags and I can't exactly drive to catch up to them. This guy here is the cause of all that commotion, and you see that marshal over there running at supersonic speeds to free him. Once he had been freed, we were all barreling down the Monaco-inspired section, and then 2 people drop it at this corner, putting the race on another yellow flag. Fortunately, because they're facing front end out, the yellow doesn't stay on for long, which means we can all barrel into the up-ramp, where another surprise is waiting for me at the top.
Oh my god!
On this lap alone, 5 positions have been gifted to me by people spinning out, but it means that yet another yellow flag has come out. Now here comes an absolute cluster of a situation. I try and throw it down the inside of this guy, but then I see this guy who's spun out on the corner apex. Nathan spins out ahead of me, and I overtake 2 people, thinking I've accidentally overtaken under the yellows, even though because they were not moving, it was my right to do so. However, in my lapse of concentration, I wave the first cart I see behind me to go forward, and it's the wrong guy. It's the guy that I overtook at the first corner. Why do I do these things? Several laps later, I'm offered an opportunity to overtake him when he makes a lovely little mistake here reacting to the guy in front of him. I throw it down the inside, and he accidentally rear-ends me, giving me the much-needed speed boost I need to stay ahead, and then I accidentally do the exact same thing at the next corner apex. I'll take it though. I'll take whatever overtake I can get at this point, because this race has been a mess so far. At this stage, I'm now chasing after the guy in front of me wearing the blue race suit and the red and white helmet. He eases his way past 2 back markers who end up holding me up thanks to some either accidental or very intentional, but decent defensive driving. I do, however, find the inside line on that one there, but now I need to chase the person in front of me as I make a very messy entry into the up-ramp. We get to the second to last corner, and for whatever reason, this person slams on the brakes, meaning I accidentally give them a little shunt. They try and take the corner on the inside, enter it too quickly, and spin out, once again gifting me another position that at this stage, I'll just take. My hands are cold, I'm getting exhausted, and this must be the billionth yellow flag of the entire session. In the closing stages of the first half, we're all barreling down the main straight when on the inside comes Josh at almost supersonic speed. I try and do a counter dive, which fails spectacularly. I end up just crashing into the side of him. So I decide to just let him through for sportsmanship's sake because my racecraft is still absolutely abominable. I have no idea how he's going this much faster than me. Sure, his lines are a little bit better, but he sailed through that corner really quickly. I have an idea though. You see that little blue light on his steering wheel? See how mine doesn't have a blue light? That's the energy recovery system, a system which is supposed to make your car faster on the straights. I didn't think this was turned on because, as you can see on my steering wheel, there's no light. So I've been neglecting to use this the whole race, which has probably slowed me down significantly. After one mad last dash to try and chase after Josh, the yellow flags come on for the final time. This lasts for a lap and a half as we all trundle into the pits for what is supposed to be a scheduled kart change, because these karts apparently don't last longer than 20 laps, which is fine because they've got so many lying around. Unfortunately, despite this being a simple kart change, the race for me ends right here. Why? Because I am a massive idiot.
I feel sick.
Did you know the body does not like doing physical activity with low blood sugar? Of course you do, it's common sense. I, however, appear to have had a lapse in said common sense, subjecting myself to a session of karting at 8 in the morning with very little cold protection, having not eaten for over 14 hours. I skipped breakfast, and that, combined with the cold that meant my hands had essentially bypassed the cold stage and progressed to a dull stinging, meant I had to skip the second half of the race as well. It knocked me sick, and while everyone else scrambled to their second kart, I scrambled to the bathroom because I was a hair's breadth away from spewing in the pit lane. What a fantastic start to the year! This was a wholly devastating and unsatisfying way to end a race, especially considering I was running in P6 before I had to retire. I could have been on for a fantastic result, but because I didn't exercise basic self-care, I threw it away. It was a humbling reminder that no matter how goofy karting is as a premise, it is still a sport, and taking care of oneself is paramount to your performance. So if you can take anything away from this video, please let it be this: take care of yourselves. Premium advice from Dr. Perislow. Real quick, just before the video ends, holy cow, 600 subscribers and over 10,000 views on my last two videos at the time of recording. The support I have received is insane, from the comments on my videos to even a couple Instagram DMs from people who've looked me up. I'm sorry this is the first video of the 2024 season, but next time we're karting together, I'm heading to Birmingham with all those lessons learned. I'll eat something, and I will pack warm. Maybe some nice thermal gloves under my racing gloves. Before then, though, I have unfinished business with fast lane karting. One more time.